Hello everyone, this is whole wheat meat pie with a great filling using whole wheat flour. If you have issues with gluten, this is the perfect thing to use. And the filling, let me say it once again, the filling is multifunctional. Just look at it. And if you want to make it healthy, use chicken. So let's go make this happen. As I said, I'll be using whole wheat flour for the pastry. This is a store-bought one. It is lighter and more firmly grounded in a way. While the one you make for yourself, you buy the grain and then you blend is heavier and it holds more water than the store-bought one. Pie filling. And what makes this meat pie filling unique and delicious are the ground chili pepper. It is coarsely blended, it is not smooth. I'll also be using ketchup in place of tomato sauce. If we don't have tomato sauce, a good substitute is ketchup. And then soy sauce, dark one. I'm using the dark one. Also the pepper, this is regular chili pepper, fresh. And then I use one green habanero pepper, fresh from the garden. I cut it all up. We've got the color as well. And then I also have spring onion, chopped, that's color and taste. And of course the beef is there, minced beef, onions and garlic. To prepare the multi-purpose filling, I've got a dry pan. To it I've added some vegetable oil. When the oil is hot, I'll add in some of the chopped onions. I'll still use the rest later on. And I didn't know I wasn't recording the bit where I added the garlic to it. So I've already added the minced garlic as well. And then I'm going to fry this for a bit. It's a bit translucent, adding the chopped chili pepper to it. Fresh one. Next one is the green habanero pepper, more color. You have this going for like 3 to 5 minutes before I add in the carrots. Adding some soy sauce to it. Vegetables done. Turn off the heat. I'm still going to use this frying pan. Back with the pan, put some vegetable oil in the pan. It's hot, pour in the rest of the onions and the minced garlic. Minced beef goes in, brown it a bit. It's brown, tomato sauce or ketchup goes in. I'm going to add some curry powder to it. Nigerian meat pie without curry powder. No. Thyme goes in, curry and thyme. I'm going to also add some cinnamon, beef and cinnamon, nice combination. And then the dry chili pepper, coarsely blended, also goes. Adding plenty of soy sauce to it. For now, about 2 tablespoons of flour. One more tablespoon of flour. So I used about 3 tablespoons of flour in all. Better to add it bit by bit. Add enough water to cook it. This is a tough part of meat, so it will need plenty of water to cook it. I'm using warm water. If you have beef stock, you can use it, adds more flavor. Several minutes later, tasted it. It needs more seasoning. I added chicken seasoning cube to it. More pepper, chili pepper. This is optional. The filling was a bit spicy. I'm going to cook this till it's a bit drier, not too dry. I will taste for the salt again, and tasting for the salt, it was perfect. Should it be too dry? Because we're still going to bake it. Several minutes later, this is the consistency I'm going for. Next thing to add is the sauté vegetables. See how colorful it is. Stir it properly. And as you can see, you can have this with anything, rice, spag. And finally, I'm going to add in the spring onions. See how attractive this is? I'm going to turn off the heat and allow it to cook. Open it, I can transfer it into another bowl. This tastes great. Let me say that again. So off it goes to cook. Pastry whole wheat flour, I said different whole wheat flour have different water retaining capacity. This is store bought, so it uses less water. I'm going to add a seasoning cube and a half to this instead of using salt. Half a teaspoon of baking powder goes in. I'm using baking powder because I have here 3 cups of whole wheat flour and I'm using 3/4 cups of margarine. If I had used 1.5 cup of margarine to 3/4 cups of flour, there will be no need to use baking powder. The butter or margarine, I'm using margarine. This is cold margarine. I put it in the fridge so I'll have a perfect crunch. Fold it in. This is well rubbed in. Lift it up. That's done. The liquid, I've got 1 egg here. As I said earlier, the secret is to add the liquid bit by bit. This is 1/2 cup measurement, and then cold water, very cold water. I'm going to add it to make 1/2 cup. This is for now. I'll still add more liquid later. I'm adding the egg because whole wheat flour doesn't have that gluten for it to stick together, so the egg is the binding. Everything is well combined. I made a well inside it, and then I'm going to add the liquid, the egg, and the cold water. 1/2 cup. I started by using a fork. I added 2 tablespoons of cold water. I added it bit by bit. I don't want to over knead it, so I'm going to put it in a cling wrap it, and then put in the freezer or fridge. Freezer, less time. So I'm going to keep it in the freezer for like 20 minutes. Then do a bit of kneading, and into the freezer it goes. Okay, back from the freezer. Rub the surface with little flour. I use the regular flour, and then you roll. All rolled out. Next thing is to cut. I use a meat pie cutter. You could use a plate, circular plate of any size. So I cut it at the edges, remove it, and I discovered it was too thick, so I rolled it out. By the time I got to the second pies, it was better. Put in the filling. If you want it healthier, use chicken. And as I said earlier on, you could combine the filling as a sauce with any other food like rice or spag. Brush the edges with beaten egg and then you seal. If you are using a plate, you use a fork to shape these lines, and this one is done. For other ones, I made it thinner, so there's only one rolling. Preheat the oven and arrange in a paper lined baking tray. For that glaze, I am brushing it with the beaten eggs, particularly this whole wheat flour. It needs to shine properly so it doesn't look dull and unattractive. Cook to let out steam. When I'm done with cooking everything, I'm gonna bake in a hot oven till it's done. Should take about like 30 minutes or so, depending on the oven you're using. With the great filling is done. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.